Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to Moscow region. Now today I thought, being that it's 3 years after a lot of things happened in the world, I'd go to a very typical local supermarket and show you around. The shop I'm going to show you around is called Lenta, and this is actually a Super Lenta. And I'm actually nowhere near where I live today. I'm about an hour and a half on the other side of Moscow. And this is an area called Lopatino. You can actually see my wife. She's with me today. We were just here visiting some friends. And this is a very typical micro district in the southeastern part of Moscow, just outside the region of Moscow itself. And that's why it's called Moscow region. Beautiful and sunny today, blue skies, and this micro district, there's around about 20 buildings, and pretty much in most of the buildings there's different small businesses and different supermarkets. Lenta is rather well known. This is a Russian owned chain of supermarkets. There's around about 3,000 of them across all of Russia under a few different store names. There is actually one in my town where I live, walking distance from my house, but I thought we'd go to one much further away than where I live and somewhere a little bit more typical, where there's just everyday housing and apartments and normal everyday working people. As a quick point of reference, today is Wednesday afternoon. It's around about 2 p.m. So a lot of people do work. Kids go to school, people go to university. There is, however, quite a few people around, so perhaps a lot of mums with kids, or people who are retired, and people who are on a day off. So I don't expect the shop to be busy. And look, I don't have my hat on. I left it in the bus. I've had this hat for 2.5 years, and my luck ran out today because I took it off because it was so hot and sunny, and then I somehow forgot it. Another thing I want to show, and I get asked this quite a whole lot, about how do you get into a lot of the businesses, because there's steps. There is actually a ramp to come on inside this store. Now I know this area very well because we've got friends who live here, and I've visited this place a few times. It's open every day from 8 a.m. till 11 p.m. Now I don't think shops need to open that late, but in this area they do. There's a water refilling machine here where you can bring water containers and pay for them by the size of jug that you use. There is also a coffee machine. If you want to make your own coffee, syrup, tap and go to pay. Very handy. And this is Lenta, or Super Lenta. I'm not sure what makes them super or bigger than some of the other lentas. The one nice thing is they've got lots of traditional registers and payment points. Let's head on in. So shopping baskets, very normal. And then the regular baskets as well. And what I'll do, I'm going to walk around fairly briskly today. Or is it briskly? Have a look, you can get some plants already. They're trying to tell us that winter is almost over. So generally when you come to Lenta's, always at the front they've got the fruits and vegetables. In this store, when you are buying things by weight, like you'll see the gentleman getting the bag here, you actually weigh it yourself, you put it on the scales, press the number, and get the payment receipt. All of the very normal, usual things. If you want potatoes in a few different conditions, you can. The same with carrots. And I really want to show a very Russian typical shop that I've not come ahead of time. I just literally left my wife outside. We've just left our friend's place. Carrots and potatoes by the crate load. And I thought I'd just wander over here and have a look around. Sometimes supermarkets are not always beautiful and perfect. I'm in the middle of the day on a Wednesday, so it looks like they've just got their load in as well. So this is very normal. And is this normal for Russia? Absolutely. Chilled vodka and chilled caviar in the takeaway fridge. That should be closer to the register though. I want to buy that as my last thing with impulse. There is some frozen items here, frozen dumplings. So these shops are very normal in the fact that they're in the lower level of apartment buildings, and then they lease them to all sorts of different businesses. There is quite a lot of cafes here and small shops and convenience stores. There is pretty much everything for life here that you don't need to leave this area. And our friends are always telling us how everything is in walking distance. And I completely agree. Very typical. Lots of different mayonnaise flavors, pickled vegetables, so a little bit of chilled drinks, all of the seafood. So they do actually have a discount program here where you'd use a store card and you'd get a lower price. You can see the red tickets and the yellow tickets on a lot of things, and that's very normal and very typical. Let's have a look at the eggs. I think I've run into the store director here who's doing some signage. So the egg section, very full. So if you're in America right now, or in England where there is an egg shortage, you're welcome to come to Russia, or I can send you some. A box of 10 for 90 cents. That's their house brand. And otherwise they're going up and down a little bit in price depending on the type. You know, the house one here for 80 cents. That's really what I focus on, is what is the one on promotion and special. I'm not really looking at the certain brands and types. I just was having a look at the one that the lady's putting the sign up. There's a little bit of chicken here as well. All right, so I've just put the pallet out of eggs. I think there's actually quite a lot more here. There's a whole lot of eggs everywhere. So 90 rubles for a box of 10. These are their everyday brand classic eggs. And then let's keep walking around a bit more. I really hope you'll enjoy this walk around. I don't want to make it a very long video because I'm just passing through the area and I thought it would make a nice, interesting video. The fact that I'm not in Moscow, I'm in Moscow region, and I'm around about 30 kilometers from Moscow, but by car, because of traffic, it's probably more than an hour, depending on the direction that you go, because of the main highways leading into the center of Moscow. And this is a very much a working suburban area. Actually, it's called Lopatino Workers' Settlement, which is really interesting when you look at the address of the buildings. So this is a very typical Russian micro-district here in Russia. Let's keep walking around and see what we can find. There is some smoked fish. They do also have a small takeaway area where you can get some ready-made food. Roast chicken is always nice. They've got a small deli here. Now, in the area where I am, there is 3 other supermarkets, which are about the same size as this, and they're all literally within walking distance. The kitchen, I think they're all set for the day with their preparations for the food. So this isn't the only supermarket. This is one of many, and you can definitely walk no more than 5 minutes to a supermarket this size, very close by. This is the extent of canned food in Russia. They're all actually on one section. So you've got peas, corn, and then you've got olives, and then fish and meat. And that's it. 2 bays of canned food. Everything else is traditional food. Plenty of choices of sausages. If you want to watch an interesting video, I went to a couple of the factory shops for this brand right here. And one more brand. I'll put it as a video for you to watch after this one. It might be interesting. Even just comparing the differences in prices when you go to the shop next to the local factory. They're actually in Moscow region also. Very big selection of salamis and hams in the store. And then also mayonnaise. Have a look if you're from America. You can see their very famous Tabasco sauce from New Orleans. Actually, my wife has walked in the shop. I didn't even notice her. She's come to have a look at one of the cheeses. So it's really strange. We have 7 supermarkets in walking distance from our house, yet we're on the other side of the city, and the shop is better stocked than where we live. They have some Asian food choices here, and very classic pot noodles. And then I would imagine because this is in a apartment building, they don't have a lot of storage. And in this shop, they put the boxes on top. This is very old school and not probably so typical for most supermarkets that have a back storage area. All of the sachets if you're going to cook something. I know today my wife was preparing soup at home. If you need a nice big bag of sugar, 65 cents for a kilo. And the way they do it, even in branded supermarkets like this, these are just generic packaging. They're in bulk. It makes them nice and cheap. We've got the alcohol section. Quite a few of the everyday items. Jägermeister, Bailey's. All of the brands that are not meant to be in Russia, but yet 3 years after all these companies said they're not here, I think that shelf proves it all to you. This is Bacardi right here, Jack Daniels, Dewar's. Actually, a friend was telling me about finding grants in Russia, and of course plenty of choices of vodka. If we just need something fast and easy, pretty much $1 for a easy bottle of vodka. Absolute all the way from Sweden. What's going on? It's definitely here. This is actually a much nicer store than I was expecting. Depending on the Lenta that you go to, they can be absolutely amazing, and then sometimes they're not so great, depending on the staff and management. Plenty of choices of Lays. I'm getting jealous now for this shop compared to my local one. The gentleman's taking some Mexican beer. He has quite a lot of choices, and he's gone for a bottle of Mexican beer and all of the juices. Very popular thing with beer is these different smoked fish. I'm not a big fan of fish with bones. Even got a fridge with some chilled beer. Now let me know, does anybody drink zero alcohol beer? 60 cents for a can, or if we need the regular beer, we're looking at about 75 cents. We'll go briskly past the soft drinks. We know that Coca-Cola is definitely still here in Russia. This one is imported. You can see the white label on it. They have to put it on there when it's not locally produced. The king of beers. And let's just pass through the water section. We've got coffee. All of the coffee pods. My wife recently changed her coffee machine because of the coffee pods in Russia were for a short while not available, and now you can buy them everywhere. So I wanted to have a look at the toilet paper prices. So we've got $2 for the pack of 4. These are the nicer, thicker double ones, triple ones. Actually, the shop is really very large. Looks like my wife has found some more things. She's just noticed that the tea selection in here is very nice. When we compare it to our local shops, there is quite a lot more choices in here that we don't get at the shop where I live. And I live in a more populated, bigger town than where I am here in regional Moscow. Have a look. Cakes and sparkling wine paired together. And they also have a small in-house bakery, so they'll do all the pastries here, and I think possibly some of these breads as well. So you can get nice, easy snack. I need to find something to eat very soon myself. These big French bread sticks for 50 cents. Focaccia, 40 cents. And there's the normal packaged bread. Most people tend to get the cheaper local made one because it's just lower prices. So you can see all of the red tickets. Actually, they're everywhere with all of the markdowns all the way from England. You can get wagon wheels. These are definitely the imported ones. You can see on the back the package. I would not expect to see that in a regional shop like this, but they have them. The lady doing all the tidying, and this is pay by weight candy. Actually, this is the other bread that you can get. Again, if you were to compare the prices, I mean, the loaves of bread here are a little bit smaller, not by much from a loaf in Australia. But most bread, or all the bread, is under $1 a loaf. Actually, a fairly classic one here for 73 cents. And then the Harry's American bread, I don't know how many, somebody's bought one, wow, for 125 rubles, when you can get not Harry's bread for half the price. Please tell me the logic to that. My wife likes to get this pay-by-weight candy. We've always got a dish on our kitchen table. And then usually in her nail salon, she's got some for her clients. All the choices of chocolate. If you're ever in trouble, this is an easy place to shop. $3 for the Raffaellos. And I'm out of the doghouse for a few hours, as the expression goes. Let's have a quick look at the dairy section. So what they've done on the end here, they've got all of the bestsellers. Small traffic jam. I was going to just point out the bottles of milk. I think he's getting some sour cream. Maybe he's doing some soup at home. Classic bottle of milk for 80 cents down there. And then if you want more choices, there's a whole fridge of them. And the other thing too, you're going to notice a lot of the packaging of food here is not in large sizes. People will generally shop just for a day or two. People aren't shopping for a whole week when they come to a supermarket like this. And the fact that if you live nearby, which everybody does that'll be coming in here, you can come here tomorrow or the next day, and it's not a worry. The children's baby food, 50 cents for a package. And then all of the personal care items Lots of everyday normal brands, which I think everybody knows from their local shop. Yeah, this is a very nice store. And my entire point of the video, and pretty much for all the videos on the channel, is I really want to document normal everyday places and also document all the different types of supermarkets that are here in Russia, because there is a lot of them. This is a good judge of price. 200 rubles is what the big bottle of Fairy should be. So I know we're onto a good deal with the price. We've got a little bit of odds and ends over here. I think most people would shop at other places for them, then come to this store. Washing powder. And then all of the different merchandise that come in put their build outs anywhere they can in the shops. This is what I was doing in Australia. And I never loved it for the fact that the goal of my job was to put more stock in the shop and put different displays randomly everywhere, like someone's put the bag and wrapping thing. Plastic knives and forks. If you're jealous, they are right here for you. What I might do is I might pack up a shipping container and send it to America or another country. In Australia we cannot buy them. They are completely not sold any longer. But yet they're right here in Moscow region. The one thing that's difficult when you come into these shops is the amount of choices. Now, the fact that I could have walked down to the next building to another supermarket, but I chose to come to this one because it was on the way to get out of the area. Plenty of choices of honey and jam in here as well. And they've even got some healthy snacks. Are they energy bars? Is that what you call them? Yeah, generally when you come to a shop in the middle of the day like I'm doing today, they would have got a delivery probably early this morning, and then the staff are now running around to get all of the pallets cleared and get the shop looking back to perfect, or as nice as you can possibly make it. And then we come to the registers. No more Duracell, it's now Opticell. And the character on the packaging has changed slightly, but I think the batteries are the same, personally. Now this is the only thing in the shop, in these anti-theft containers, the erasers. Now of course the prices are higher than a lot of things in the shop as well, but in terms of the whole store, there is a whole alcohol section and wine and beer section, which is completely fine. Have a look. Привет. Oh, this, is it a sausage dog? What's the name of this breed of dog? I can't remember. He looks super happy though, walking around. I just need to find my wife now, and I can eventually get to the end of the video. Maybe we need an ice cream. It is a little bit cold outside, so perhaps not today. I think she has to be somewhere in the shop. Oh, she's right here. So we've just walked out of the supermarket. I was just about to film the ending of the video, and they've got a little pop-up stand right here. Now these are very typical across all of Russia, mostly by the bus stations and train stations. However, where we are in Lopatino, they've got one right here. So he's got some fish. There's also some salamis and smoked meats. There's a little bit of fresh chicken as well. My wife is seeing if there's anything that she likes. Also some pickled mushrooms. Just remember, this is not the supermarket. This is pretty much farm fresh direct. There's also some pickled vegetables there as well. And this is not the supermarket, however, this is what you can get in a lot of the suburban areas of Russia, rather than even walking into the shop. I thought I'd do the ending here with my wife, and it's been a little bit of a crazy day today. For 2 years, I've had my hat, and what did I do?
You lost your hat. You left in the bus.
In the bus, coming over here. And what did you think? Now, you've walked out of this supermarket smiling. Now, Lentas are everywhere in Russia. This is not the only one. It's not a unique part of the country. But compared to where we live...
Yeah, this Lenta is absolutely beautiful. It's like it's a huge choice of everything. In our town, Lenta...
We don't really go there.
Empty.
We occasionally go in there when we need something because we don't want to go to another shop. And then we're here in the Moscow region and we come across a very nice supermarket. People who live here are very fortunate, I think, that they've got a nice shop. Now, what should everybody do if they like the videos?
Put thumbs up and subscribe.
Thumbs up and subscribe. And if they want to join me on my social media, what should they click on? Telegram. It'll be right here. And then if they really love me, what should they do?
I don't know.
They should watch another video.
Okay.
You can watch another video right there. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
We're off.
Bye.
Bye.